The Gull's Nest is on the air. It's time for a weekly dose of Seaside High School athletics with the Gull's Nest. If it happens on the field, in the pool, or on the court, you'll hear it here. The Gull's Nest is sponsored by Ocean Crest Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac.
Good evening and welcome to the Gull's Nest. Jason Boyd, Athletic Director, Seaside High School here. The Gull's Nest is brought to you by Ocean Crest Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac, home of the lifetime warranty. We also want to thank our participating sponsors, Seaside Factory Outlet Center and Angelina's Pizzeria and Cafe. My first guest today is the one and only Maddie Udy. Maddie, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So, Maddie, it's been a pretty exciting fall for you. Volleyball, the girls and your team did fantastic this year when you look across the whole body of work at the state level.
Thank you. Yeah.
So league was a little bit tougher. We finished with 2 wins. We beat Astoria twice, and everybody else was pretty solid, so we finished 5th in league. But outside of league, the competition you guys played, how did you feel when you went up against these teams that were outside the league during the regular season?
I thought we played really well against them. Like, our league has been really tough, like this year especially. And so playing against other teams, we really played our best and showed that we are a team to beat also. So
it was almost probably a relief when you got the opportunity to go to other tournaments and play the Statons and the Cascades and Philomas and Molalas, these other schools across the state that are in the 1 or 2, 1, 2, or 3 in their leagues, but yet, in our league, like you said, it's so tough to get out of our league and to perform well because the quality of the teams is so high. So going into the very end of the season, we're ranked 16th in the state, and we're the 5th place team in our league. We get an opportunity to get in the playoffs because we are ranked so high. It's the first time the Gulls have been in the playoffs since 2005, so it was really exciting for your squad. You got to travel to Estacada. Tell us about that contest at Estacada.
We played really well. The first set was probably our worst, and then we picked it up and came out with the win, 3-1. So.
Yeah, so that was really exciting to again, going outside our league, getting to play somebody that was the number 2 team in their league and walk away with the 3-1 win. And then you got the draw to go to Sisters, and they were the number 2 ranked team in the state. That was a couple Saturdays ago. Now, looking at that particular contest at the time, I know when I talked with Coach Huntsman, we thought that was probably the best draw. Mm-hmm. Is that they were having some injury problems the last couple weeks of the season. We knew that Crook County was really, really solid, and we didn't want to play Valley Catholic or Banks again, and those were the top 4 teams. Going to Sisters, though, it didn't quite work out the way we wanted to.
No.
So at that contest at Sisters, what was the one thing that looking back at it, you would say, well, if we would have done this, we would have had a better opportunity? I mean, Sisters played really well that day, watching that game, and they have some really solid players. Obviously, they go on to win the state championship, so it's not too bad to lose to the losers, but it's never fun losing. What was one thing in that Sisters contest that if you look back at and said, if we would have done this, we would have had a better shot?
I mean, there are a lot of things, but we definitely didn't play our best. We could have played much better. I think we didn't have as much energy as we usually have playing against the tougher teams. So that was one of the big things.
So just that overall energy, hey, we're coming out, we're ready to go, fired up, excited.
Yeah, I think we were a little bit scared in the beginning especially, and it took us a while to get warmed up. Each set we got better and better, but we just couldn't finish.
Yeah. Well, and as we said before, they're a really solid team. So we're going to kind of switch gears here a little bit, but I want to transition to this. When you play volleyball compared to basketball, do you notice that the momentum in volleyball is so much more important than it is in a basketball game?
Yeah, definitely.
And can you help our listeners? What's that? What's the cause of that? I mean, we're deep thinking here, because momentum is such a different animal when it comes to volleyball and than some other sports. What's your recollection or thought process about why momentum is so important in volleyball?
I think because each point in volleyball, like you stop playing and like you have to focus on that point. And in basketball, like the game just keeps going, keeps going.
Okay, great. I really like that. That's so. Yeah, you're right. So in volleyball, you just stop, and the other thing with volleyball is usually someone scores a point because someone makes a mistake.
Yeah.
Very very rarely is it because someone just made such a great play that you couldn't defend it.
Yeah.
There's always some type of negative connotation. So trying to keep those that positive focus is really important. So, Maddie, the fall is done. Congratulations on being all league again this year. That's really exciting. Alicia Gonzalez was all league, and Jetta Adeaway and Anna Huddlestone both honorable mention. So yesterday morning, what an exciting opportunity! National Letter of Intent Day, and the Fresno State Bulldogs is on your horizon. What was the feeling yesterday as you were signing that document to guarantee that you were going to be a Fresno State Bulldog?
I was excited. I was also nervous, but I was really excited to start taking steps to finally going to college to play basketball.
Did you practice your signature the night before?
I should have, but I didn't.
It looked good on a piece of paper to me. It looked fantastic. And what a great crowd. The teaching staff was there. You had a bunch of friends and family there, former coaches. Really neat opportunity. So tell me, why did you pick Fresno State?
I really liked the campus, and the coaches are really great. And I also knew I wanted to go to school in California because I love warm weather.
So yeah, it would be a little warmer in
Yeah.
Fresno State, that's for sure. What do you like specifically about the campus besides the sunshine?
The facilities are really nice, and the housing that I'll be staying in is really nice also.
Awesome. So talking with the coach, is your housing set up where you'll be staying with other members of the team, or as a freshman, do you just get regular dormitory style to begin with?
So I'll live in an apartment with 3 other girls. 2 of them will be on the basketball team, freshmen like me, and then the other one we don't know yet.
Well, that's really exciting. Awesome. From the academic standpoint, does Fresno State offer the degree that you're looking for?
Yes, I want to study kinesiology and exercise science, so they have that, so that's good.
Great. And what made you want to go into that field?
It took me a while to decide. I had to think about it a lot, but I really like physical therapy and sports, so I felt like that was a good route for me to take.
A good connection. Well, that's great. So we're all really proud of everything you've done here. We're really excited for the upcoming basketball season, which starts on Monday as far as practice. So I'm sure you're really excited about that.
Yes, I am.
What's the biggest thing that the team this year needs to focus on in basketball to be successful?
I think we need to focus on probably our defense, because you don't need skills to be good defenders, and then our conditioning has killed us a lot in the past.
So you want coach to run you guys a ton, huh?
Yep, that's what I'm saying.
Well, I'm sure he'll love to hear that. Well, Maddie, thanks. So, Maddie, thanks so much for stopping in today. Again, congratulations on your volleyball season. So proud of you with the choice to go to Fresno State and receiving that full scholarship to a Division I university. That doesn't happen very often here out of Seaside High School, so it's really exciting. I know the community is really pulling for you to do well at Fresno, and I know everybody's really excited to watch you play basketball this year, so really looking forward to it.
Thank you.
When we return, we'll talk to some members from our boys soccer team and the second place boys cross country team.
Stand by for more with Jason Boyd and the Gull's Nest next on 102.3 KCRX. Now, back to the Gull's Nest on 102.3 KCRX.
Welcome back to the Gull's Nest. Jason Boyd here with 2 of our esteemed soccer players this year, Brent Walsh and Rafi Saboni. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us.
Rafi's a little mic nervous, but that's okay. We'll warm up to it, Rafi. Ocean Crest's never-ending quest to provide a better customer service experience has raised the bar. With their lifetime limited powertrain warranty on virtually every vehicle they sell, new or used, Ocean Crest Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac off Highway 101 in Warrenton, home of the lifetime warranty. So, gentlemen, congratulations on a second-place finish in league in soccer this year.
Thank you.
And that propelled us into the play-in round this year, and we were able to host Cottage Grove a couple weeks ago and played a night game. Cottage Grove comes to town, lots of youth on that team. Rafi, what did you think of that contest? We ended up with a nice victory there. Cottage Grove really had one shot on goal, I think, the entire night, so a 3-0 victory. Defensively, how did we do?
Oh, I think we did amazing defensively. We didn't even let them get past like the 50-yard line most of the game, and we dominated possession everywhere, also in the back line, in the midfield, up in the attack, everywhere. So that's why I think they only got one shot on goal.
We made an easy night for our goalkeeper, didn't it?
It sure did.
So, Brent, your position is quite a bit on the defensive side of the game, and going into that contest, was there anything different that you guys set up to do against Cottage Grove that you hadn't done all year because you knew it was going to be a playoff game?
We introduced a new defensive system on 3 on the back line where we can add another forward up to our top line. So with the 3 on the back line, it really becomes important that we hold that defensive line. If one of us makes a mistake back there, it's going to really cost us.
Okay, so then we get that victory, and we move on to the round of 16, and we get to travel to LeGrand. And I know that we were all very excited about that opportunity to go east. Looking on paper, LeGrand looked like a team that we could compete with. Not necessarily some straight-up common opponents as you look through the season, but it looked like a group that we could definitely play with. Beautiful sunny day, but there were some other weather conditions that we weren't quite ready for, most notably the wind. How did that play, that strong wind, how did that affect our play?
The first half wasn't too bad. We had the wind to our back, so we were able to push it down and keep it in there 50 for most of the half. But when we switched fields, it was a whole different ball game. Balls weren't sending as far as we thought. If we were sending stuff up in the air, it was just spinning, coming back towards us. It was a nightmare that second half.
There were a lot of kicks in the second half that just to describe it, as you're standing on the sideline and you see Brent boot the ball and it goes flying through the air and it starts to climb like a 747 taking off, and then just imagine that when it gets to its highest point, its trajectory stops and it starts coming back towards the person who kicked the ball. That was really bizarre, and a condition. I mean, we play in the wind. And we've played, at least 5 minutes in a really windy game this year. But nothing like that where it was, I mean, if you were to look at it from a picture, it looked like, wow, what a beautiful setting and nice and sunny out. And it was about 60 degrees. And things just didn't work our way with the ball. So, Rafi, from an offensive standpoint, as you're pushing that ball up, what did you guys try to do differently to deal with the wind?
Well, I mean, we had to send less balls in the air, obviously, because the wind would just push it back. But anything to change, there's nothing really to change. We just kept playing our game the whole time.
So we end up giving up 2 penalty kicks, and then LeGrand scored another one late in the second half, and unfortunately it was a 3-1 loss for us. So we did pick up a goal in the first half to kind of go in the second half tied. Great season. From the standpoint of how well you guys work together. Talking with the official after the game came up, and I don't know if you guys know this, but he came up to Coach Chapman and Coach Carter and Coach Barnes and said he was really impressed with the style of play that you guys were trying to implement, and he could tell that you were actually the better team on the field as far as the skills. Just dealing with the wind was something that we weren't necessarily used to, and we're used to playing on a pretty smooth surface too, playing on the turf. Okay. Well, let's switch gears just a little bit and talk about cross country. As Rafi, you were one of our dual athletes this year. We had 6 of you on the soccer team that also ran cross country. There were 5 of you that competed at Lane Community College in the state meet. So Rafi, from a high school athletic perspective, how difficult is it to participate in both sports in the same season?
Well, it's really tiring, but both teams are really accepting of it, and it's really nice to have the support from both teams, and it makes it way more fun than you could think. But yeah, I would do it again and again if I could, so don't regret it.
That's good. Now, fatigue obviously is a big factor because you're constantly going. I know the coaches work really well together to try to limit your practice time, say conditioning practice time at soccer, and then you'll go over to cross country because they know you're going to get your running in there. Let's go and look at the state meet itself. All 7 of you guys gave every ounce of effort in that particular meet. And to get a second place trophy after, you won last year, pretty much everybody comes back. You get second place this year. You knew Valley Catholic was going to be tough. Both of you guys blew everybody else out of the water. Now a little perspective, because I know you guys were really disappointed the day of. The accomplishment of getting second place and giving your best at the state meet, how do you feel about that today versus right after that meet?
Well, of course, it's a little disappointing, but everyone doing everything they can during the race is all you could ask for in a cross-country team, and I think that's what we did. But, of course, we would like to get first, but I'm still happy with what we got. So.
And seconds, as I was saying before, is a really big accomplishment, especially to be 1 or 2 in 2 years back-to-back. So, Rafi, at what point during that race did you feel like, this is it, I've given everything I've got, I don't have anything left? Was it at the point you crossed the finish line? Was it 50 meters to go? Was it 1,000 meters to go? Was it when you're standing on the podium?
It was right when I crossed the finish line. I actually couldn't stand up, so yeah, that was pretty rough, but yeah.
It was one of those real dramatic moments as you cross the finish line and basically hit the track and it needed help to basically get out of the way. We all knew that you gave it everything that you had that day. I'm really proud of your effort and the efforts of the rest of the team, and so excited that you guys were able to bring home a trophy.
Thanks.
When we return, we'll talk a little bit girls basketball as our winter season is getting underway.
Stand by for more with Jason Boyd and the Gull's Nest next on 102.3 KCRX. Now, back to the Gull's Nest on 102.3 KCRX.
Welcome back to the Gull's Nest. Jason Boyd here. I'm now joined with our newest girls basketball coach, Mike Hawes. Mike had the assistant position last year, and with the retirement of Wally Hamer, you received the position of head girls basketball. Really excited for that opportunity for you and the girls. What's one of the things that you really want to look at with this team this year to be successful again and keep this kind of run that we've got going with Seaside girls basketball continuing?
Good evening, Jason. Yeah, good question. Several things come to mind. First, since Wally took over, we've had at least 3 starters coming back and 3 all-league players. Mm-hmm. We lost 3 starters last year. We lost 5 of our top 9 kids. Two kids really come back that were starters in all-league, and that's Maddie and Sydney. So that's obviously a great place to start. Mm-hmm. But we have to fill some spots with kids that don't have a lot of varsity experience, and they're going to have to step up and perform at the level that we have expected, and some of the kids that have graduated and gone on before them. So I think we have some key people that really need to be ready to play varsity basketball at the level we expect. Mm-hmm. Your earlier guest, Maddie, obviously any team that's starting with her, starts in a good place.
Yeah.
She's, a uniquely talented basketball player and a wonderful young woman. But, anyone that gets a Division I scholarship is obviously, a really talented kid. So that gives us some advantages right there. And with Sydney, some of the things they do. But the better teams are continually focused to stop Maddie, and have been able to do so in a sense, and put pressure on other kids to score.
Right.
And she mentioned defense and conditioning, and I totally agree with that. Our defense and our press has been a real key against most teams, and we've always been thin in numbers. So those two things are key. But we need some other people to be able to score, and when Maddie's being boxed and
double teamed, triple teamed,
we have to have kids hit shots, and we haven't done that consistently enough in the last 2 years. Now, having said that, we've been a top 8 team in state.
Right.
So
focusing on a little different level. It's and especially last year in the Quappa League is 3 really good teams.
Yes.
Statewide. And we look to probably be in that kind of same boat again this year. But when you talk about the expectation is to be going to that top 8, playing at this year would be Forest Grove, and being a contender for the state title, not just, okay, we want to have a winning season. And so we're a little different focus.
There are different focus and different goals. We want to be realistic. I mean, we have some really potentially fine young kids coming in. We'll have more size than we've had, potentially. Again, it's young and it's inexperienced. So, those are some of the challenges. Can we have some of these kids step up? We saw some good signs this summer. We're excited to have Maddie and Sydney and Lucy. Lucy Bodner's our other senior. She had quite a bit of experience and went down with a knee injury about midway through the year. So we're not quite as experienced bringing kids back. So I think a lot of it will be how some of these kids respond. And obviously, one of the biggest losses was Wally.
Yeah.
He's really, really impossible to replace as a coach and a mentor and a role model. So for me and the girls.
Right.
So it'll be a challenge, but when you start with Matt and Sid, you're starting in a better place than a whole lot of teams.
Right. Well, and a positive is your 2 most experienced players are your 2 oldest players, whereas the last couple of years, your 2 best players have been really the younger kids.
Yeah.
And we did bring Marla Olstead on staff, so really excited about that opportunity too for her.
Yeah, Marla is of course one of the great players in the program's history, and I am excited. She helped out all summer, and she's going to be a great asset. I love her insights and what she brings to the table. So we're excited. We've got a nice coaching staff and three teams, enough kids to fill. So we're looking forward to being competitive and leaving it all out on the court.
Well, it all starts Monday, November 14th. Just remind everybody to, if you're participating in a winter sport, you need to have all your fees and your participation forms taken care of, turned in before you can participate. Monday will be that day, as we have no school tomorrow. I want to thank all of our veterans for all their service, and can't wait to see you out on the court or the mat or the pool this winter, cheering on our student athletes. Go Goals.
This show is also now available on our YouTube podcast archive. You'll find it at Ohana Media Group Coaches Shows on YouTube. Please like and subscribe.
Thank you for tuning in to The Gull's Nest, a weekly look at Seaside High School athletics. Join us Thursdays at 6 p.m. The Gull's Nest on 102.3 KCRX. Sponsored by Ocean Crest Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac.